All right, Allison, we got your program here. This is Anthony and myself going to be taking you through some things. So first we're going to start with your rolling. We're going to run through these very quickly in order down the sheet. So just go in order. We're going to foam roll the IT band. Just be sure you're rolling from the hip all the way to the knee, but you can do it in small, like 4-inch sections, so you don't have to do the whole thing at once. And then make sure you, again, don't neglect the entire don't neglect to do the entire length and stay on spots that are tighter. Just sit that for a few more seconds. We're going to go right to the quad, which will be face down. Pretty straightforward. If you need to, you can cross over that off leg, get you a little extra tension to push down on. Again, I recommend working in small sections of a few inches and working your way from the hip to the knee. So, we got the adductors next. Kind of awkward one here. You're going to lay, his right leg is kind of just straight in the ground, but the left has to be kind of out at an angle. You can see the foam is somewhat perpendicular to the thigh. Again, working from the knee, taking it in sections going up toward the groin. Okay. Calves are next. He's going to be face up. And again, place the calf on there. You can cross over like you did with the quad if you need extra pressure. Small sections recommended. And then working from down at the heel. If you want to pop a shoe off, you can. You don't have to, but make sure you get all the way to the Achilles and then all the way to the back of the knee. When you get to toward the back of the knee, you're going to have the quad a little engaged to keep the knee straight. Very good. All right, that's it for rolling. And then I just made some notes on here. You can self-explanatory. Now we're going to use a lacrosse ball and work on pinning the glutes. So we're going to have them down on the ground. We're going to sit on that lacrosse ball. It's going to get lost in there. It's okay. And notice he has a slight angle to the hips. Let's show her what square angle would be. Like if you square like parallel to the ground, but he's going to tilt. Go ahead and tilt to the right, and then place up the right leg up on the knee of the side you're rolling. And you're going to go back and forth all throughout that whole area. And then after you're going back and forth, covering the whole section of the glute, then you're going to go left and right. Kind of two different ways there. Again, find knots and sit on them for a little bit. We're then going to work on rolling the levator scapula, which is your neck muscle that's real tight. We'll take you up to a wall here. He's going to place that, you're going to turn around there for me. There you go. Place that back there. And it's kind of tricky to find, but I'm trying to show you. If your corner of your scapula, like the top, kind of like, this will be medial, the inside, and then the superior, you'll feel the bone there, and the levator muscle is right above that. Okay, so go up on the wall there, put some pressure in there. All right, and if you feel like you're on the bone, just go a little bit up. All right, or if you're on the bone on the medial side, go a little bit up. And you're going to roll back and forth, in and out. But the main thing with pinning is to just put lots of pressure into the ball, sit there, get the knot out. So if I just show you on the left side, it'd be, here's the scapular border, levator muscles there, runs up the neck like that. So you're real tight in there. Make sure you pin that real good. Very good. Next one we're going to work on here, middle trap. Same idea. It's just the ball's going to be in between the shoulder blade and the spine. You're going to cross your arms to expose it, kind of do some squat kind of motions up and down slowly, and you're going to just run the full length between kind of mid back and upper back there. So all up in there. Okay, very good. And has some knots in there. Rotator cuff, going to be rotating to the side there. Rotator cuff is lateral, so it's on the side of the shoulder, but a little bit posterior, so that's why he's kind of tilted. His chest is tilted out a little bit. That's rotator cuff there. And if you feel this is the bony thing that sticks up, the AC joint, this bone, it's just below that, an inch or two. Just get right up in there, and you'll know it when you get there. It's going to be a little sore, and you're going to roll back and forth and then up and down, kind of like the glute, how we went two different directions. Same thing with the rotator. And he's also going to rotate so his chest comes out more from the wall, because these muscles originate way back on the scapula. So he's going to work all the way to the scapula, the inside border of it, all the way over. There you go. Okay, very good. So get all that up in there and just move it around, and you have to find your own hot spots where things need some work. Very good. Next one we got are some stretches. We're going to do corner wall stretch. Gonna show you that. We can just use that right there. It's fine. Gonna find yourself a corner wall, obviously here. Okay. Notice he's roughly horizontal with the arm here, and then 90 degree. The elbow must be touching. He's got a staggered stance there, and he's gonna lunge forward gently, moving his body into the corner while pinching upper back. Real important, keeping the head neutral, looking straight ahead. And not very important, come back, Anthony, very important not to just lean forward. So lean forward incorrectly, Anthony. Just lean. All right. Without bending the legs for me. Yeah, just lean forward. Okay. There you go. So leaning forward changes these angles, not what we're looking for. We want to lunge the entire body into the wall. So go ahead and do that correctly. Lunge into the wall for me, Anthony. Okay. Good. That's the first one. Next one, he's going to take his arms down roughly to the hip area, waist, about, again, 90 degrees here. And then we do want the elbow to float, not touching the wall. He's going to do the same kind of setup. So again, lunge into the corner, keeping that upper back really tight. Move the whole body as one unit. Again, extremely important. You got to be super tight here. If not, you could hurt your shoulder. That's number two. Number three, it's another pec stretch, but a little different angle here. Yep, you're going to have parallel arms. So he's showing you that. And keep them parallel also to the floor. You're going to stagger, retract the shoulder blades, and go ahead and lunge into that corner. Again, we want to keep our head neutral. Kind of lunge the whole body, and you should feel a huge pec stretch in all these, and some in the shoulder, several areas. If you feel in the back of the shoulder starts to pinch, you need to stop and retract, or stop to stretch all together if it hurts back there. All right, very good. Next one in order here down your sheet is a sideline rotator cuff. So we're gonna head over to this mat. Be on your side. He's pinning that left shoulder to the ground. You can relax your head or not, it's up to you. And then the arm is roughly straight out from the body, so we call that a 90 position, and it's 90-90, meaning the arm is straight out perpendicular, and then the 90 at the elbow joint. He's going to put his hand up on top of that lower arm and then gently push down. And you can see he's maintaining 90-degree angle at the elbow. Again, emphasis is on that back of the shoulder and the elbow. The whole arm should be pinned to the ground. You can do this gently so you don't hurt that little muscles back there. Next one is a doorway thoracolumbar, basically a back stretch here. So we're going to get you a doorway here. Excuse me. So, all right. So he's going to start that left side. He's going to block the knee into that side of that door. You're going to split the stance a little bit more for me, and then reach back, and you can see that big twist. We're going to use the door frame as a object to help us achieve a twist in this thoracic, which just simply means this middle part of the spine. You might feel some lumbar, could be SI joint down low. Try to relax the core. Don't use your abs right now. If you need to increase the angle, if you're flexible here, he's going to come back where he started, point the feet more toward me, so you're going to start at a greater angle away from the frame, and then go into that stretch again. You're going to get a lot more range of motion there. Okay, very good. Obviously you do both sides of the door frame there. The levator scapular stretch, he's going to grab something and anchor his hand. Here you go, just grab that power rack there. Going to grab an object, it could be whatever, a little higher there for me, and we'll do a palm facing toward me. There you go, good. And he's going to, you have different fibers there. We're going to go lateral, so he's going to pull the ear to the shoulder there, and then there's some posterior fibers, so he's going to have to go forward with his head. And you can find any degree, any angle in there that works for you. This is that muscle that we rolled with the ball earlier. And it's all right, and a little more forward if you want there, Anthony. That's good. It's important to anchor the arm, so we get this stabilizes scapula, because it attaches here. If your arm wasn't anchored, it would just kind of heave up with it. Very good. Next one we got dynamic hamstring. We'll head back over to our corner here. Dynamic hamstring here. Gonna have a foot up to the bench. This is fine right here. And you gotta get comfortable with your angles that you need to use, but basically his chest is pinned to the thigh, and he's gonna grab that left arm on that back of that thigh as well to kind of anchor extra. And then we're going to sit back and that's going to dynamically stretch the hamstring through the hip instead of just through the knee. And he's going to go off and on, kind of just like a switch, off and on, little switch there. Okay, nice and easy, just 1/1000 back and forth there, nice and smooth there. Each rep you should elongate that muscle a little bit more. Very good. Next, we're going to work on the pigeon stretch for the glute. Okay, this can be a tricky one here. You're going to try to get that underside leg tucked under, that's what he's showing you there. And you're going to go down slowly to the forearm, keeping the back leg extended. That's going to increase your stretch. This is for the left glute, by the way. And if you need to get more out of it, you can extend your arms straight ahead and collapse that chest all the way down. Very good. And then if you need even more, we can move the knee toward your center chest. He's going to scoot that left knee in. Get a little bit more in for me, other way. Yep, there we go, all the way in. That's his center chest. Then that should get a little bit more of that glute. Next one, quadriceps stretch there. We're going to be using a bench or a chair. You're going to be doing a pretty standard quad stretch here. So the off leg is in front. He's going to reach back, grab this leg behind. Usually grabbing the shoe works well. And then the key with this is hips have to stay forward while he gets the stretch. And then he adds the knee flexion there. All right, now the shoulder incorrectly would be hips back. That's the wrong kind of quad stretch. You see that very often. Not what we want there. We want hips forward. We got soleus there. We're going to do your calf. Pretty tighten that thing up against the baseboard. Pretty simple. Basically going to have you put your foot pretty high up on the baseboard there, so that such that your toes curve up, and then apply force through a bent knee, kind of like a little lunge. Very important. You can work on and off for 10-15 reps, just like the hamstring, and then hold it for a little bit at the end. IT band there. We're going to do the standing one with the leg crossed over. Okay, we're going to cross over other way for me, bud, because we're going to use that bench to, there you go. So his outside leg is the stretching leg, cross the inside over. Make sure you unload the inside leg so his left leg does not have much weight. And he's going to bend down to the left, pushing the right hip laterally to the right. That's going to help you stretch this IT band that you rolled out earlier. Very good. Frog stretch for your adductors. Be down on the ground there. Yeah, you can do the kneeling one. I'm sorry, the standing one is fine. Or crouched, whatever. So he's basically in a squat, and he uses the forearms to push out at the knee. Right, very good. And if that bothers your knees, then you can go right down to the ground, kneeling, and then widen out as wide as you can. These are not the same exact stretch, but similar. And then he sits back at the hips, and that is going to be your frog stretch. Adductors, very important. We're going to hit a lat traction on a door handle. In this case, we're just going to use this our pin on our lat machine, but use any object you want, or a post, whatever. But oftentimes the door handle works well. So anyway, you're going to be in a kind of a half kneeling stance. You're going to, he's going to push his hips back to elongate our lat muscle right up through here. You might feel rotator cuff and stuff like that. It's fine. And then if you need more stretch, he's going to take the opposite arm or shoulder and rotate it kind of into the armpit. It's kind of a weird, funky looking rotation, but that can increase the stretch on this right side there. And the traction just means you're going to be always pulling away from that post there. That's it for your stretches there. We're going to work on some mobilities. We're going to do the prone scap depressions on the just laying on the floor here. That's fine. Yeah, that's good. Okay, laying down. Palms will be down for me, face the floor. Good. And he's going to very gently squeeze back at the shoulder blade and try to keep them down toward the hips. And very good. And you're going to have the hands hover above the ground just barely. We don't want to drive the hands way up in the air. That's all that is. Pretty simple. You're going to do 10 of those. So you're going to go down the floor and back up. Okay, now we're going to do some prone tees. That we're going to need a bench for. So actually you could do that last one on a bench. That would be fine. So he's going to go down, face down, which we call prone, of course. You're going to do a T position with thumbs up to the ceiling. And you're just going to go from the floor and then up. Notice he has a lot of pinch in that upper back. Very, very important. Very good. 10 of those. Let's see here. And then I said 3 additional on the right side because your right side is a little weaker there. And he's going to do a T to W to L. So let's go. T, W, you pull the elbows in like a posture drill. L, You collapse those wrists down, then you can reverse that W, T, and then the floor, and back through T, W, L. Very good. You're going to do, again, 10 of those, but 3 more on the right. We've got to do some prone Ys. Ys are up in front here. Going to engage this trap. This is the most important one, that the trap is very tight, this middle trap. Engage that before you lift your arms up. So squeeze and then lift with thumbs to the ceiling. That's your Ys. We're going to go back to the mat here. These are called quadruped thoracic rotations. Easy for me to say. Going to be on all fours. One hand behind the head. It's going to rotate up and look up to the ceiling as far as you can, keeping lower body stabilized there. And then you're going to come down, tuck underneath the other arm. Now we're going to round the spine and then come up and extend and arch the spine. It's very important you arch here with chest out, and when you go down, you round and you let your chest collapse. Next one, scapular push-up. You can do right from there. We're going to do the knee version. If you need more loading, you can do from the toes like a push-up. He's going to get a straight line from his knee to the shoulder. Hands walk out there a little bit. Very good. And pretty simple. You're going to just let gravity pull your chest to the floor, straight arms, and then push away. That's all it is. Be sure we don't shrug. What a shrug looks like, crappy, and then good would be down there. Very good. We've got machine or band loaded scapular retractions here. It's best if your chest is supported. If you don't have that capability, it's okay. We're going to go show you on a row machine. I believe you do have a rowing on your machine at work here. So you're going to be seated, lightweight. Going to only move the shoulder blade to pinch here. We're not going to do any arm at all. So here's kind of a side angle view. He's purely pinching the middle back, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, so shoulder elevated. Do not do that, and slam them down toward the hip. There you go. Okay, work through your reps on that on the machine, but don't use that bicep and elbow. Totally straight arms. Very important. Next one we've got is a vertical or overhead scap depressions. These we normally do on a lat machine. So if you have a high cable pulley, you're going to have a seat. It's going to grab. You can try 2 grips. We'll try the wide grip first. Just like the previous exercise you did, he's going to retract and pull down that bar. And this is not so much a backward movement of the shoulder blade, but it's down. And he's going to let the weight of the lat machine pull you up. You might need a good 50 pounds to let the machine float your arms up. Okay? Very good. Sit there. Next one you're going to be doing some seated Swiss ball band abductions there. So we're going to get you out a Swiss ball. We're going to have you put a band around the knees. Do the best you can. If you don't have a small band like this, you're going to have to double it up. And if you don't have anything, just you can move on. Going to basically just get those knees apart. Good. And we're going to actually have the feet flat there and just let the toe or let the foot pivot out. And I like him have his hands behind the head there in good posture. We call this prisoner of war posture here. Upper back is tight, and we're just moving those knees in and out. All right, very good. Prone kneeling supported glute extension there. Okay, we're going to have you kneeling on the ground up to the end of the bench here. So you have your chest supported. Now, if you do need to put some underneath your knees to kind of get the elevation correct between, your stomach and the bench to kind of pop you up, that's fine. He's going to keep the knee bent at 90, going to extend it up in the air, squeeze the glute, and then you're going to come back down. That's pretty much it. But the key is your spine is stable because your chest and whole upper body is on the bench, including the head, and we're purely just trying to work through the glute. If you feel more ham than glute here, then I want you to straighten the leg a little bit and try it with a slightly straighter leg. Again, we want pure glute, and try not to overextend such that you use your lumbar here. This should be flat and stabilized right there. Very good. Next one is a supine glute hand bridge. Hold the foam between the legs, toes touching. Okay, so this is E3 down there. We're going to be on the ground there, face up for me. Grabbing your foam between the knees for me, bud. We call this our basic glute ham position. Yours a little more specific because you need to work your inner hamstring. He's going to have his hands out lateral, straight out, a little crucifix there, chest up, nice little neutral spine going on. You're going to keep toes touching, and we don't want to squeeze the foam with your knees. It's just there as a placeholder. but the toes must stay touching roughly 90 degree at the knee joint. Gonna go ahead and slowly squeeze off the ground. And again, try not to hyperextend the lower back. So we're not gonna show our overarching the lumbar, lower back. That's a little too high. Come on down a little bit. That's where you stop. Okay, make sure the glutes are engaged. Go through your reps on that thing. Okay. Very good. That is all your stretches and warm-ups to get you ready to train. Now we're gonna go through the workout here.